Got Axel right here. He's setting up all my products to be lined up. Look at him, bro. Look at him. Look at him. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Temu. And for those of you that don't know what Temu is an online marketplace just like Amazon, where you can buy things for really great prices. So you can buy anything from tire changer kits to wrenches to Orbi guns to just anything in general. So Temu does have some nice perks where they offer free shipping for most of the items that are sent from Temu. They also have a delivery guarantee, so if it's something like a huge item that doesn't arrive, they actually give you a full refund as long as it's shipped from Temu. So why are we talking about Temu? Well, Temu actually reached out to me. They say, hey Sergio, we love the videos on your channel. We want to send you some products for you to review. So what they did was they gave me $200 to purchase anything on Temu of my choosing. And what I chose were some car related things, some car detailing, and just overall things that I could use for anything like Sylvie or any projects that I have in the future. So I'm going to be showing you all the things that I got and see if they're actually legit. So I want to take a moment to thank Temu for sponsoring this video and being so gracious to allow me $200 to spend on their website, getting all these products as you see here. So I got everything from car detailing products to lights to a compression tester to everything in between. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys individually all these products, see if they're actually worth it, use them, and just see what my thoughts are. All right, so the first thing we're gonna be reviewing is this guy right here. It's a Ratchet keychain. So it's a 10mm with a little keychain at the end so you can put it on your keys or keep it in your car. And why I wanted this is for my wing because it is adjustable. So, whenever I go to like mountain runs and things, I wanna lift it up to get a little bit more downforce. But the problem is that I never really have a 10mm. So this guy is super cool that you can just put it right here on this little nut and you can just take it off, and then it's ratcheting. So it's really cool to just take it off. And from what I see, it works pretty well. And then I'm gonna take off the other one, just like that. And it has a little swivel to it, so that's pretty nice. But all in all, I would say the Ratchet wrench is approved. All right, so the next one is an air wedge pump. This is very useful if you ever wanted to like maybe space out your exhaust. So if you wanted to put it in between like the body and the exhaust and like kind of just pump it up and then tighten it to have that clearance that you want. But what I really wanted it for is because I was actually locked out of one of my friend's cars before, and we didn't find this, so I really wanted to get something like this. So this is how you pretty much use it. You put it in between the door, you find a way to kind of jam it up, and then you just want to pump, and that's just going to be pumping all the way. And right here I can see a little space, so I can actually see a little space right there to help me put a tool to get something out. So all in all, I would say this is definitely Sergio approved. All right, so the next one we're gonna be reviewing is a 17mm socket. I used to work at Honda, and being a lube tech there, I misplaced my 17mm socket and I never really replaced it. So when I saw this opportunity with Temu, I looked up sockets and they had this 17mm socket. So I'm gonna be stress testing it, seeing if it can take off one of my lug nuts off my wheel. This lug nut is torqued down to 98 foot-pounds. So let's see if we can take that off. And just like that, it took it off. And then we're gonna go ahead and see if you can tighten it, and boom. It just did 98 foot-pounds without breaking, so I would say this is definitely Sergio approved. And we're just gonna put this guy right there, back at home. All right, next one is gonna be a decal remover. This guy is a rubber wheel to help remove any decals that it's been sun-baked and like absolutely attached. Like if you try to take it off and it comes in little like pieces, this is gonna help you out. So for this RSX that I have here, I have this little sticker there, and if you try to wipe it, you try to clean it off, it's not gonna come off, right? Because it's already like sun-baked, it's already in there. So what I want to do is I want to use the little rubber wheel from Temu and a little drill. All right, and then you want to go ahead and just try to take it off, and you just want to use it just like that. All right, so it leaves a little bit of residue, but here, let's use it again and see if we can take the rest of the residue off. So I would say, you know, with a little bit of elbow grease, the rubber wheel, it definitely works to take off adhesive. As you see here, it removed that first part of it. It does take a whole lot of use, but it still is lasting. As you see here, none of these little things have really come off. So I would say it's definitely durable, and I would say it's Sergio approved. All right, so the next one is gonna be that 4 pick set, which is really useful for anything that you wanna maybe use for, like, for instance, if you wanna take off a clip, you just grab it right here and push down. Helps you take it out. It's very useful. Say if you want to remove a little rubber you know, little cover right there, you can just, you know, pick at it and pull it off. Really easy. Now, one thing that with my picks that I have a problem with is that they typically break from here, or they maybe bend, and I want to stress test this and see if these guys are easily bendable or if they're a little bit more durable. So we'll go here to the ground and we'll push down, and that thing is not moving. That thing is not bending at all, which some of my picks from AutoZone, I mean, they do bend, and I'm putting a lot of weight on this, and it's not really doing much. And then if I scratch the ground, I don't really see too much damage to the tip. So I would definitely say these guys are Sergio approved. All right, so the next item is gonna be a compression tester. So I have the test kit right here with the gauge and the hose. What we wanna do is remove the spark plug wire, and then remove the spark plug right out of the engine. And then once we do that, we grab our gauge, we grab our hose, connect it right in, and then just thread it into that spark plug hole. And I know this is gonna be different. I'm doing it on my lawnmower right now just because, you know, with Sylvie and the WRX, it's a little bit harder to get into the cylinders. So I am just wanting to make sure that my lawnmower has compression, which of course it does, but we're just checking out and making sure this little thing works. All right, so once it's hooked up, all we gotta do is try to start the mower. And as you see, we have about 75 PSI. Typically on other engines, you wanna make sure that it has similar you know, compression in between all cylinders, but being this is, you know, just one, 75 PSI seems plenty enough to me and should be fine. So I would say this compression tester is definitely Sergio approved. So the next thing I have is a 3/8 adapter to a a half-inch adapter. So if I want to use something like this half-inch breaker bar and I don't have the right socket for it, I can actually put this adapter on and then put on that 3/8 socket just like that, and I can use it. So I'm gonna be taking off these wheels. I'd say it works. I don't know how it's gonna handle with like impacts, and I know with like chrome sockets you're not supposed to use impacts. I use it all the time. That's actually why I got another one, because like these for me break often. But you know, stay tuned for future videos. Maybe, you know, I have this for a very long time, maybe I don't, who knows. But right now I would say this is Sergio approved. So the next one is a long head ratcheting wrench. So you see here it has, you know, really long throw, so you can like you know, get as much torque on it as possible. Now I do have a lot of these. These were made by Mountain Wrenches, and I wanted to have one that has a 10 millimeter and maybe like a 12 millimeter, but this one from Temu, I got one with 10 and one with 11. And actually before this video, what happened is that I used the 10, and as you can see, it broke off. So there's not a really way to test this guy as it's already been tested, but as you see here, it doesn't take a lot to break something from Temu. It doesn't take a lot of torque to break this off, because I think what I was taking off was a brake caliper line, so it wasn't something that was like really tight. I would say maybe like 20 foot-pounds at max. So I would say as far as the quality with the wrenches, not as great as something like these Mountain wrenches that I've had for a very long time. So I really can't say that the wrenches are Sergio approved, but I would say the ratcheting, you know, if you're not doing so much torque, you can bend it, you can twist it, I would say it works. So the next thing is heat shrink tubing. This is something that I've always wanted. As you see here, it has so many sizes. So it has things from like large wires to small wires. So pretty much the idea here is that you put it on a wire, you heat it up, and it kind of shrinks over it, therefore protecting any solders or anything, any like live wires, things like that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use it to cover this copper piece. As you see here, this is an exposed ground to this RSX. This heat shrink tubing, I find this diameter pretty good. So we're going to put this little sleeve on just like that, and all you need is a lighter, and you're just going to heat it up. And don't worry guys, this is not something I'm going to leave like this. It's just more or less to demonstrate the heat shrink and make sure that it works and it's shrinking just like that. And I would say it's very pliable, you know, it's not ripping, it's not tearing. And this stuff is pretty sharp, so for it to be able to like hold it like that, I would say this is definitely Sergio approved. Next item is wire loom. So as you see here, it's kind of like a tape that's kind of clothy material. It's really to like finish up install, so when you're soldering things and you're putting the heat shrink wrap, that it doesn't look like this where you can see a lot of like colors and things like that, and you can still see the copper. It's something to make it look really professional and keep it all together. And so as you see here, somebody did some you know, work with the electrical, but what I want to do is just kind of tie it up so it looks nice. So you're just going to grab the tape. It's kind of like you're bandaging up, but like I said, it's really gonna make it look professional and not all colorful and terrible like this guy is. And then once you're done, you can just rip it off. And just like that, that looks a whole lot better than it kind of like being opened and you know, duct tape and things like that. So I would say this is certainly Sergio approved. All right guys, so the next one I have is actually a dog hair removal tool. As you see here, it has a lot of rubber bristles, things like that, to remove any dog hair. So what I have actually is my wife, her shirt is covered in cat hair. So what I want to do is just grab this little guy and go like this, and it kind of helps take any hair fibers out of the cloth shirts, you know, things like that. And this is really helpful for you know, cleaning cars, things like that, removing any hairs or any carpets. So definitely needed something like this. And I would say, as you see there, it removed all of the cat hair. I would say this is certainly Sergio approved. All right, so this is something that I've been very interested in. A light for any Milwaukee battery. As you see here, it does have a little light with the Milwaukee you know, connection, and then it has an on and off switch. It does have section 1 and section 2 of on and off, so I wonder what that does. But it also has your USB ports right there in the front, which is super cool. So what I'm going to do is use my Milwaukee battery. As you see here, it works, and it has 2 bars of charge. We're just going to take this off, and then we're going to put it on the light just like that, and we're going to turn it on, and hopefully it works. Holy smokes, we have got light. We have got light. We got a whole spotlight. Let's see if we hit on 2, what's going to happen. 1 and 2. I think 2 is dimmer and 1 is brighter, which is definitely helpful. So if you wanted to save some battery, you just put it on 2 instead of 1. But it works, as you see here, turning on, turning off. I think this is a really great addition, and I would say it's certainly helpful. And I also wanted to try out if the USB ports work. Yeah, and just like that, charging the phone. Super cool. I would say this is certainly Sergio approved, definitely. All right, so the next thing we got, guys, is a brake fluid tester. This tests the liquid and how much moisture is in your brake fluid. So I'm really curious to see how my wife's WRX brake fluid is. All right, so what we want to do is press and hold, turns it on, and then it also has different types of fluid. So right now it's on .3, we got .4, and we got .5.1. So it tests all the you know, the types of brake fluid. So all you do is take off the little cap, and then you want to put it into the brake fluid, and it'll start reading. So as you see there, it has 1.2% of water content. Anything beyond, I would say anything between 2 and 3% is something you want to change. something that you want to change soon, and then anything beyond 3% water content you want to change immediately, because of course water in your brakes, it causes a spongy brake feel. But as you see there, it actually picked up the percentage, what I'm really happy about. I think this is a really cool tool to remind me and see how my brake fluid condition is. And again, we're testing all these products to make sure they're legit. So we have a little cup of water right here that we want to just put it in and see what happens. So as you see, it's 3.3% of water content, and that's probably the very top tier, the very top of this little range tester. All right, to truly test these feeler gauges, I wanted to get a little measurement tool to see if this is actually 4 millimeters, as you see there. So I'm gonna put it in between the little gauge there and close it. And as you see, it is 4 millimeters right on the point. So I would say these feeler gauges are definitely Sergio approved. All right guys, so we have these 3 items here. It came all as a bundle, and it solves 2 main issues for me. One of them being hoses that get stuck behind my tire. If I want to go to the next side, I can't, because that guy always get kinks underneath the tire. So this guy actually goes right underneath the tire, as you see here. If I move the cord and I put that under the tire, now whenever it's going, it's just gonna roll against that little ball, that little roller, and it's never gonna get stuck, therefore saving me time from going to the other side. Now the second issue I have is with my bucket. As you see here, with all my detailing products, I don't have enough space for any brushes or anything like that. So all I have to do is just grab this little toolkit, and as you see, now I have more space. Now I can put more detailing products right here. It has little spots for brushes, which is super cool, and it saves me some time from getting the washcloths and things. I can just put it in here. So as far as these little 3 items, the bundle pack, I would say is definitely Sergio approved. All right, next one is a 5 brush pack. These are typically for like wheel detailing, car detailing. You can use it for certain things, just to like get dirt or grime out of certain places. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and use these for my wheels. So I have a little thing of soapy water. And I'm just gonna scrub a bit more. One thing I would say using these, they do feel a little cheap. They do feel a little light compared to brushes that I've used in the past, but it's nothing crazy. It's definitely usable from what I'm kind of seeing here. It's getting into the crevices. I don't really see any of the fibers or the hairs come out. So I would say, for those that need some starter brushes, these are a great value, and they do exactly what other brushes do. Well, that fell in, but you have different sizes. So if you wanted to get like the middle of the wheel, the caliper, you can, I would say these are certainly Sergio approved. All right, so the next one is a wheel brush. As you see here, it kind of helps with getting into the inner barrel, and I would say the build quality of it is pretty good. So we're gonna test it out and see if we can actually reach my wheels. And I would say it does the job. I'm putting a little bit more pressure on this little part right here, and I don't really feel it giving or bending. I've had metal ones in the past, and they always kind of want to bend, and I can't really get enough brushing in there. But from what I'm seeing, is getting it really good. It can get between the Brembo and the wheel, so that's perfect. It's just a perfect size. But so far, I'm really liking it. I don't really see any downsides to it. And like I said, I have one of these that does continuously bend, and this one, I don't feel anything of it bending. So I would say this is definitely Sergio approved. All right, and the next one is a kind of like a little mitt for your hand for maybe primarily wheelbarrows. You can use it for the paint, but I find that it's not big enough for the paint. So what I purchased it for is for like these little crevices of the wheels, because the brushes, you can use the brushes to kind of get the little crevices, but it's not going to get that dirt. As you saw there, I got a bunch of dirt on my hand. So basically you want to grab it, you use it just like a wash mitt. And what I like about this, rather than a wash mitt, that it doesn't fall on the ground, because when you have so much of the wash mitt, it kind of touches the ground. You can't really get it into all of the areas, but right now I'm kind of like getting in there with my fingertips, and it's really easy to get into all the little places there. So far I would say this is definitely Sergio approved. All right, so the next one is a microfiber drying towel. As you see here, it says good quality and use longer. So I would say the texture of it, the fibers of it, it feels pretty good. I would say the main test of this is seeing if it dries off this wheel. So I'm just gonna, use it like any microfiber and see how good of a job it does. And I would say it's pretty good for a microfiber. It's drying it pretty well. And with all the products that we use, the brush and the wheel mitt right there, the real woolly, I would say it definitely did a good job, getting all the crevices, using the brush and things like that. I would say it's definitely Sergio approved. Okay guys, so the next thing is a tire shine brush. So it has like a little case for it to not touch like debris or anything like that. It just pops out. I really like the case and I really like the build quality. It feels like a really good makeup brush, which is really funny. But like I said, it's a tire shine brush. So we're gonna grab some tire shine, just put it on there real quick, and then we're gonna put it right onto the tire. And it applies it super nice. Like I really like this. This is probably my most favorite thing out of the whole items that I got. As you see, there is like a really nice application, nice and wet coat. And then down here, I would say it's always a problem to get down there just because I have stretched tires, but you could probably get a little bit of it, just a little bit. Grab with your fingers and just like that. I would say this is definitely 100% Sergio approved. I really like this item. All right, so the next thing is a clay bar. So this is something that is really expensive if you buy it from like an auto parts store, or you buy it from even Walmart. So I wanted to test this out, see if we can actually grab some embedded particles from the WRX, from the paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. And I'll say as far as the feel, it feels like any other clay bar. Doesn't feel any different. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in the soap and then go ahead and just clay bar the car. And as you see right there, it did pick up some of the particles on the paint. A couple more passes. I want to do it in the back as well, because on the WRXs, I know that a lot of the carbon buildup gets onto these to these bumpers, from the exhaust. So this is definitely helpful to remove any of that. And as you see, the clay bar is a little dirty. So I would say, as far as it working, it is a little bit hard to kind of ply around, and it does have a little bit of stringiness to it, which I'm not familiar with, especially with the clay bar. But from what I see on the paint, it's taking it off. But I don't know. It's very hard compared to the clay bar I've used before, and it's stringy. So if I had to score this between a 1 through 10, I would probably score this like a, I don't know, like a 6 or 7, because it is taking off, but the overall feel of it's a little weird. But yeah, I don't know. I had to just say that this one is I'm unsure about. All right, guys. So as you saw, we tried out the Temu products. I would say a lot of them are very useful. A lot of them are great quality. There were some that I was like, I didn't really like the quality, like I would say the brushes, and maybe no, I would say just the brushes. The brushes, it just felt a little bit cheap, but it was definitely usable. Like I was able to clean the wheels with it. The little wheel woolly for the inner barrel was definitely good. The compression tester was good. The light was probably one of my favorites as well. And then that brush for the tire shine. But if you didn't catch it, there is one item we didn't review, which is this guy right here. So, going through everything that I was buying, I couldn't find things that were like, using all of the $200 that they gave me. So I found these for a really affordable price. It is pretty much like a earth beads bracelet. And then as far as the quality of this guy, I really love it. I've used it throughout the video. Bonus points to those who can put the timestamp of when I started wearing this in the video. But like I said, the quality of it, it's really good. I can expand it. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels of really good quality. I actually bought one of these local, and it feels exactly the same. So, I would say this is definitely Sergio approved. And I wanted to thank Temu again for sponsoring this video, sending me out these products for me to review. I do have some shorts of 3 products that they sent me as well, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, stay tuned for any future videos and any future reviews.